I can see what things you can enter yourself. Let's start with the things that you can just start from now and enter yourself. So the first thing, we call it CPD. And I'm going to stress here P for Papa, okay? Because there is a different thing that's called CBD, which we're going to talk about in the next slide. But CPD, that's continuous professional development. That's very similar to, I think, in other countries, we call it CME, which is a continuing medical education. So basically, all your courses, your e-learning, teaching days, webinars, conferences, anything you attend, that's all called CPD. So that's what they call in the UK. They call it CPDs. And we talked about already how to put that. We talked about you have to do a reflection, not just put a certificate in, you have to actually write what you've learned from any of these events. Another thing is reflection. Now, reflection is quite a big thing in the UK as well. And it's quite complex, but the way you think about it is actually, it's just you describe an event and then how you felt about this event. And then you kind of evaluate and say, what have went wrong in this? What could have been better? And then the analysis is basically analyze situation and see, okay, why do you think that happened? You know, why did this not happen the way we wanted it to happen? Or what has led to this? And then the conclusion, you just think about, okay, well, actually, what did we learn from this as a whole? What did we, either as a department, or what did you learn from this personally? And then what we do next time, so action plan would be what we do next time to avoid this happening again. So if this exact situation happened again, what would you do next? So that's the whole, there's obviously a lot of education about reflections, but this is kind of in a nutshell, this is what reflections is. And then you've got the next thing is audits. So audits and QIA. QIA is quality improvement activity. So QIA is slightly bit bigger than audit. There's something called the PDSA cycle, which we do plan, do, study, and act. But generally speaking, for basically from the audit point of view, what you need to do is you look at the current practice of whatever you're having in your hospital or where you're working, and you compare that to a standard. So you have a standard which is either a guideline or a policy or something that you are aware of, and you collect the data around that and see what's been going on in our practice, and try and make an improvement, try and make something better to do any particular action to improve that, and then you re-audit it and re-look at the situation again and see, have we done an improvement or not? And then the next thing is PDP. So that's personal development plan. So that's basically you need that for every placement. Whether you're a trainee or non-trainee, it doesn't matter. You still need something called a PDP. And you need to be smart about it. So SMART is an acronym, actually. It stands for, so it needs to be something specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant to what your post, and time-bound. So you basically need to say, okay, well, actually, I'm going to learn from this job. I want to do this job to learn this. You're not just, it's not just a job. I'm not just here, I want to, go to work and then go home and finish, and that's it until and it's just something that pays the bill, as they say. No, you need to have a plan of how you develop yourself. So that's the PDP. And it's quite important to try and have a PDP in mind before you start any job. So as soon as you start the job, maybe settle for a few weeks or so, and then once you kind of figure out, okay, what's going on around me, then just put a PDP in place. And then you can discuss that with your supervisor as well. But you need to come up with it. Don't wait for them to tell you what it is. And then the last thing you can put in here as well is the logbook and procedure that we already mentioned before.